Brown here, founder over at Beating Binge Eating, and I am Kalin. Hi, Kalin. Thank you for being here. Awesome. So Kalin is a graduate of our Beating Binge Eating Blueprint program. She's not only a graduate, but she graduated a little over a year ago, a few months over a year ago. And now she's actually on our team. She supports us with some of the community support. She's going on to be a physical therapist. She's doing incredible things in her life, and she is free from her struggle with her body and food. So today on the interview, we are going to just really dig deep into her journey, talk about where she was, where she is now, and pull some actionable pieces for you to really learn from and get inspired from, so you can take what she learned on her journey to this path to food freedom and really apply it in your own life. So let's do this, Kalin. So excited to have you here. So many places where we could start, but I think the best place to start is just like, year and a half ago, or even prior, what was life like before you found your freedom, before you came to us?
Yeah, I started having really restrictive behavior at a young age, and I'm 30 now, so pretty much my whole adult life had been enveloped in restrictive behavior and a lot of self-loathing and self-hate and dieting and always wanting to change my body, always wanting to be smaller. And that just brought so much stress into my life, and it was hard on relationships. And I was so exhausted by the end of it, coming to that, I struggled for about 15 years before I found you guys, and my restrictive behavior eventually led into binge eating. And looking back now, I definitely had more episodes of binge eating than I realized. But it definitely became, oh my God, sorry, my alarm. Definitely.
I have a cat meowing in the background, so we'll just embrace the noises.
Perfect. Binging was becoming more and more regular in my life, and I just was getting to a point where I was like, I truly cannot keep going like this if this is how my life is going to be. Always that starting over feeling, and binging several times a week. So I had been struggling for a really long time before I found you guys, and had tried a lot of different paths to kind of cure my relationship with food.
Yeah, I remember that. And, I love your journey, because I got to see it so closely, right?
Mm-hmm.
So hearing all this just reminds me of how far you've truly come, which is so powerful. So I'd love to see a little snapshot of like where you are now, with your relationship with food in your body. Because I think your shift with your body was a really big one too, just like embracing yourself, and also inspiring your Instagram and things like that. And then also just your, like, how that ripples out into your life, I think is something I'd love to hear too.
Yeah, and that's the fun part, is not just you think that just getting the freedom from food is going to be amazing, and it is, but it seeps into every other area of your life. And I think that's when you really realize how much you're losing from doing this behavior. So yeah, now that my relationship with my body has completely changed, I love and appreciate my body in a way that I never have before. And so just being able to truly love my body and feel comfortable and confident in who I am, and know that I'm not that struggle, has been absolutely amazing. But I've also seen that seep over into my friendships, and my friendships have gotten stronger, and I have more of them, and my relationship with my partner has gotten better, and I've been able to put myself out there and come to work for you and help other women, and just kind of let them know that anybody can get to the other side of this and really find that freedom. And like we say in the program, coming from a place of love instead of fear, and just being in your power. So yeah, I've been able to have new career opportunities and better relationships, and just more fun in general, because that weight's not on my shoulders anymore.
Yeah, I love that. I know I get to see it firsthand and just really see you in your power, which is amazing. And wait, can we do a little Instagram out for you? I wasn't planning on doing this, but anyone who's listening, Kalin, I don't understand how your body can go in these ways. She's like a master at yoga. And wait, so what's the Instagram handle?
Yeah, so my Instagram handle is Kalin maybe if you want to see some yoga and some body positive things and just kind of like embracing my journey. Feel free to find me there.
Yeah. And so this wasn't pre-planned to do like
Yeah,
a plug for Kaylin. I'm just so proud of you, Kaylin, for like putting yourself out there and
thank
taking what
you.
you've learned and just one, there's this level of like body and women empowerment to it. And then two, your strength is just super impressive. Like I can barely do a handstand and you're like flipping upside down and doing all these amazing poses. So yeah. So anyway, this is just an example of like, you know, I know you had your yoga page before, but you know, as you're stepping into your power, you're like actually feeling confident to share. And maybe you're not starting a company like Beating Binge Eating, but like your posts are empowering women, and not only empowering women, but allowing you to like step in your own power and just shine your light, which is so great. And I think that that's just such an example of what food freedom can do. Like it does go way beyond the food. So awesome. All right. So, you know, let's talk about food though, because I think when people are in this struggle, it's like when they're fighting with the food, it's hard to even see the impact in the other areas, right? And all they want is that peace with their food, the peace with their body. So you learned so much on your journey. What was your biggest tool or takeaway from like with the food that really allowed you to get in this place of power and freedom?
The biggest thing for me was right away in the program, it's talking about coming from a place of love instead of from a place of fear. So coming from a place of nourishing my body, like what can I do in this moment to nourish myself instead of food being so controlled, so restricted, so bad. You know, I was either eating to deal with an emotion or because it was a free day or I was starting over tomorrow so I could do whatever I wanted, and just this constant thought process. One of the biggest things for me was coming from that place of nourishment and actually thinking about how I can make myself feel energized, or what can I do in this moment to really make myself feel good, and how is this food going to make me feel. And another huge thing for me, it's like kind of silly to say it, but just feeding myself, because I would go every day for hours without eating. I like was in the habit of not eating breakfast, and then it was like lunch and then dinner and then binge and then restrict all through the next morning and repeat, right? And then don't eat because I either don't feel good or I feel ashamed. And so just being in that routine of like eating breakfast has been huge for me. So yeah, just feeding myself and coming from a place of love instead of control.
Yeah, it's like, and these things sound so simple, right? But the chain reaction that these changes, so they're not simple because for a lot of women, we're so ingrained with like the fight, the push, the punish, right? The restrict, like don't eat until you're starving, you know, see if you can go to bed hungry, or like these bizarre messages that set our body up to binge, right? So then a lot of women look for, how do I control, oh, Kitty just made an appearance. A lot of women, they think like, how do I control the food? How do I control the binges? And really the binges are really, for many women, a reaction to that, not feeding yourself adequately, not taking care of yourself, not giving your body what it needs. So I love that those were some of your biggest takeaways. It's interesting, on every interview, it's less about what to do in the moment of an urge, although you get that in the program, right? And it's more about all the like, the proactive things to nurture and care for your body that make it to where you actually don't have urges to binge anymore. So really, really cool message there.
Yeah, exactly. Because the urges go away and you don't have to deal with them anymore, because you think that the urge says something about who you are, but it truly doesn't. Anyone can make that go away, and you learn all about that in the program, and having that knowledge and having someone who's been there before and is loving and supportive, and other women are doing it too. It's just such an amazing environment to kind of explore this with other women instead of trying to do it on your own, being kind of shameful and private about it. So I can't say enough good things about having the Beating Binge Eating community, and you and Stella, of course.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's so important. Like, someone was like, oh, someone had told me, I think I'm gonna just try what you've told me and like go do it on my own. And I'm like, if that's what you feel in your heart to do, like, okay. And like, you don't have to, you know, you don't have to go like, you know, binge in private and try to figure this stuff out on your own, you know? So I love that. I'm curious, I feel like you made a really drastic shift, not only with your food, but with your relationship with your body. And it shows in the Instagram and just shows in how grounded you are in yourself, your posts, your contributions to our community. So I'd love to hear, what was that either tool or perspective shift that allowed you to really go from this place of fighting to nurturing, honoring, and ultimately I felt like it went with phases. It was like acceptance and caretaking, and now it's shifted into a true love and connection with yourself over time, which I think is powerful. So I'd love to hear a little bit about that.
Yeah, and that for me really started kind of logistically, honestly, just getting used to breaking down those negative thoughts that I was having and having something else positive to say that was given to me, you know, by the program, but not just like repeating a mantra, like actually feeling it and practicing that and enveloping that, like taking time to care about my body or reflect on my body and what it's given to me and feeling grateful and really knowing exactly what this body's giving me and coming from that place of love. So, you know, a mix of like being given mantras and tools of how to do this. And, you know, you would even say like, this might like sound a little silly, or you might feel silly doing this. And, you know, having someone be like, okay, like it's not all magic, but a little bit of practice goes a long way. So just like continually to practice saying nice things about myself and feeling powerful and practicing that feeling and those emotions and just practicing taking care of myself. It's nothing like huge. It's just like these little things throughout the day that eventually just become second nature. You don't even have to think about them. You don't have to fight the negative thoughts because they can go away pretty quickly if you just kind of buckle down and take the time to really get rid of those feelings once and for all.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I think one differentiator too, you know, when some people hear like mantra, they might be like, oh man, more body love affirmations. Like I'm saying I love myself here and I'm not feeling anything, which I think you struggled with and I've struggled with. And, you know, and I think one thing that differentiates us is, like understanding why those negative thoughts are happening automatically and really like learning that art of, it's not just about slapping another like positive thing on top of this negative flow that's always happening. It's about learning how to kind of deconstruct the negative pathways, right? And like slowly deconstruct those and reprogram the more positive ones in different methods. And that's why, like you mentioned that word second nature, which I love. You know, I don't want you to have to think about this stuff forever. I want it to be a part of who you are. And I think you know, a year later are a true testament to that, where we all have negative thoughts. We all have stuff come up. Like it's natural, you know, we have moods, we have emotions, and predominantly you are able to like navigate through those spaces, which I think is really, really powerful. So I'm curious, I know you've tried so much. You said you had this 15-year struggle from like weight control to disordered eating to trying therapy, like all the different methods, right? What was different about your experience with us? Because I feel like this was kind of like the fork in the road turning point for you, where after you came in with us, like freedom was possible and, you know, a part of your everyday experience. So what was different? Like what made it different? What allowed you to really pour yourself into it?
So many things, but I think it was just like truly being with someone who knew the experience, had been there, and had now created these steps that you can follow that tell you exactly how to do it. Like just knowing there was someone who had already been through this. You know, I had tried therapy and it just felt like an arduous process and I would just be there forever and I never got any relief. Dieting never helped me. I tried another coach and it was just, you know, too focused on the food, which of course I thought was the answer because that's what you think is the answer. But this, just having that information given to me, explained to me in a way that I could understand, and then being able to for me, like having the coursework where I could answer questions and like really dig into my beliefs and figure out really how I was acting, that was so transformational for me. And then, you know, being able to ask questions directly to you and talk to you about what was going on and have that reassurance and be given tools and tricks and encouragement. Like the community space was so awesome. And so, yeah, it's kind of like all of it put together, right? But just like diving in and doing it was, I don't regret it for a second. And I wish everyone could find this and get the help that they need, because it really can transform your life in a like pretty short amount of time.
Yeah, I love that. Well, thank you, Kalin. This has been absolutely incredible. There's like so many different things I could ask, but you mentioned like you wish everyone could find this, which I think is the mission, right? But I'm curious, like, you know that feeling when you're Googling and looking and searching and trying to find something, and then you find something and you're like skeptical, it's online, you don't know, like, or you're nervous to talk to someone, or there's like all the fears that come up when you're like desperate and skeptical at the same time because you've tried so much, right? I know for me, I tried everything under the sun known to man for, 15 years. And I heard about a lot of what we teach in different ways in different places. And I ignored it. I was like, this isn't me. Like my body's different. This isn't going to work for me. I can't do this. And yeah, like what do you, when people are at that place and they maybe come across our stuff or hear some of our messaging for the first time, any like words of encouragement, words of wisdom for them?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that if the way that you speak and approach this subject resonates with them, then I think that's all you need to just dive in and go for it, because that's all that I had. I watched one YouTube video of you and I felt connected to the way that you spoke about it, and you seemed informed, and it wasn't coming from this place of like control or fixing your past or anything like that. It was very much like, we're going to fix this problem and we know how to do it. And that's absolutely true. And having someone hold your hand and take you through this experience and really be on the other side of freedom is just amazing. And I just think if you're feeling on the fence about it, I just do it. Like, I just want to give you that push. Like, you can do it. Anybody can do it. Take the leap, like join the community. You will not be disappointed. You will find freedom, and I know you can do it. So I just think, like, take the leap, do it, dive in.
That's awesome. Yeah. The leap. It like feels like such a big one, but yeah, we just always promise everyone like, hey, if you jump in, like we got you, we're here. So I really love that. So awesome. Kalin, this has been amazing. I love that there's been inspiration and also like tangible takeaways, the nurturing, the loving, the honoring, the practice of the principles. One thing I'd love to ask you, because I do know that you took a unique perspective when pouring yourself into your freedom and your journey with us. Anything that you could say, like in regards to the way you approach your journey, because I think whether someone's with us or not, the way you approached it is the way that I see over and over again, people who do find freedom, like how they find it. So yeah, what really, like, I know on our end what was different, but on your end, like what was there a perspective shift? Was there a way you went into the process that really supported anything in that department?
Yeah, I think I was, sometimes they say you have to hit rock bottom before you can like see the light or get yourself back up. And I won't say that I was like at rock bottom. I was not in a good place, but I had not been in a good place before. So I think the perspective shift for me was just like, look, what I've been doing before hasn't been working. Every time I've tried again, it hasn't worked. And I kind of am doing sort of the same thing over and over again. So I need to go to someone who knows something about this and has been through this experience. So for me, it was just like, I obviously don't know what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna like do what I'm told and see if it works, because what do I have to lose at this point? If it doesn't work, I'll be right where I was. So I just kind of was like, you know what? I'm just gonna throw my hands up and do exactly what this program asks of me and see what happens. And it worked.
Yeah, I love that. And you're making it sound like that's just a common thing. I just want to commend you because you did like, oh, it's common to just like follow every direction and follow through. And some people, you know, don't have that muscle. It's not that everyone has the muscle of follow through, but there are fears and things, and you had your own fears. And I think that's another differentiating factor is like fears do come up, you know, even Kalin, who is dedicated and all in, like you showed up to the call with some fears. And that's a big thing too, is like, you didn't go off on your own down this fear spiral. You're like, hey, Brittany, hey, Stella, hey, team, this is coming up for me. What do I do about it? So I think that that idea of like going all in and showing up is something that you did really beautifully. And then you can see that the freedom is on the other side, which is so awesome. So yeah, Kalin, well, it's been amazing to have you here. Any last little message, words you want to say before we go?
Oh my gosh, let's see. I had something that you just brought up that made me want to say something, but yeah, talking about, I totally had fears. Like, yes, I'm a year out, so I feel like very comfortable and everything feels very easy now, but there were ups and downs during that time, and there will always be ups and downs. And, you know, sometimes I still have to practice little things, but you kind of have to just keep going forward and keep pushing through those fears, because everyone else in the program is having those fears too. So talking about them is just helpful for everyone. So I think, yeah, just knowing that the journey is not going to be, you know, you're not just going to go straight up. There's going to be some little bumps in the road, but ultimately, you know, you're moving upward. So yeah, just stick to it. And like you were saying, like, we got you. We're going to take care of you. There's people here who love and support you. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Awesome, Kalin. This has been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. You know, I adore you, and I'm just so freaking proud of you for how far you've come. And just like, oh, you're so welcome.
Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.